You are watching CIOTV by Enterprise IT World, a production of Accent Infomedia.
First of all, Sanjay, I believe that technology or CIOs should not only remain technology focused. It is not about that they are leading technology. They are an important part of the organization. That means they are also responsible for business in indirectly. So they should also have that understanding. They should also participate, and they should also understand the perspective why something is being prioritized, why somebody is asking it is required. First thing is that.
Hello and good afternoon. You are watching CIOTV.live. In the series of interviews, we try to understand the perspective of CIOs and IT leaders in various technologies and their strategies as to how they are keeping their organizations ahead of the curve compared to the competition and keeping their organizations immune from cybersecurity hackings also. Today, my guest is Varundeep Kaur. She is CIO Spice Money Limited. We are happy to have her in this conversation. Thank you very much for taking time out.
Yeah. Hi, Sanjay. Thank you very much for having me here. And also, it was honor to be part of the CIO 1000 Awards. And I must congratulate you on organizing the CIO 1000 Awards ceremony quite well.
Thank you, Varundeep. First question is if I can understand your organization better in terms of the coverage of your organization, employee strength, it will be really nice to, for me to ask the following question.
So, Spice Money is a leading rural fintech. We are largely covering tier 3 and tier 4 cities, and we are into B2B2C space, and where we work along with the rural entrepreneurs to create more financial inclusion products, and we provide services like AEPS, DMT, MPOS, MATM, travel services also, cash collection also, like and a lot of other stuff which is there. And in terms of employees, we are more than 700 people right now, and we are growing, and we are already covering more 700 districts across India. And we wish to like go further, how we can solve the issues which our rural segment is facing in terms of financial services. Like we are already 8 lakh plus adhikaris on board, and we wish to go to say 1 crore merchants in years to come.
All right, we have already seen two waves in pandemic.
Yeah.
Now we have entered into the third wave. The new variant is Omicron. Nobody really knows about the effect of this new variant because we haven't tested it. So, what is your preparedness for any eventuality? What is your BCP plan for this?
Right. So here, Sanjay, with this pandemic, here we started even our preparations even before the pandemic started. We thought let's rehearse like how and check how is our preparedness. And that time, like whatever we figured out, it has been a smooth journey in terms of like IT equipment and like laptops, desktops, and providing access because we were already taking care of a lot of part of it. In terms of like, and our workforce is still working, most of them are still operating from home comfortably. We don't find that, and I find people are more connected. Like we earlier used to have less interactions because everybody either have to travel physically or they have to like keep on looking for meeting rooms to have a conversation. Now it is pretty easy because you just have to figure out Google Meet or Zoom or like Teams, whatever works for internal or external associations and collaborations that happen. So on that side, and also if we see, we have tripled our revenues over these pandemic years. That is there, where rest of the people like in across the functions, they have been operating from home. However, like our warriors who are our sales employees, they have to be on the field. And we believe since we are part of essential services, our merchant base, our adhikaris, spice money adhikaris were on the job all the time. And we also make sure that they remain safe, and hence we help them with the awareness sessions and how. And spice money also like sponsored certain masks, certain hand sanitizers, all that stuff, and we have been sending the communication. People I have also been taking care of the COVID related aspects there. So in terms of BCP and DR, like we are also doing DR and validating whatever is there. So we realized that in COVID situation, like you may have BCP of resources, but the human manpower is something where even you create primaries and secondaries. So people may at the same time may become unavailable. So for that, we have tried documenting a lot of things. We have invested a lot into automation this year so that people related dependencies are reduced. And we also believe that people should get more meaningful work, and that has got pushed by the pandemic. So that is where on the people side, a lot of automation has happened, and we reduced the stress on people, which because during the COVID time, people have personal exigencies a lot more, like somebody is not well at home, they have to attend to it. So organization even at some point in time slowed down also. So that was a well thought initiative by our CEO, where we have 1 or 2 weeks where we asked people to slow down and finish off their work at 6 p.m. because otherwise in during COVID time, you do not have a start or an end time of like meetings and discussions, which is there. Our CEO and our chairman, they are pretty clear in terms of that we have two agendas. One is the customer or adhikari first, and other is the employee first. So we are taking care of both the initiatives pretty well. And in terms of the BCP, that like I said, it is being taken care of. The service uptime, the platform stability, all these things are measured and witnessed across people, processes, and technology. So we are taking care of that in that terms. Regular DRs are happening. Business continuity plan is in place. Like if one thing is not going to work, like how we are going to operate from that.
And what is your infra look like? The core infra look like? Is it in house or outsourced?
No, it is a colo. It is a colo as of now. Yeah.
All right. So these days you can see the BFSIs are becoming smarter, faster also, and they're utilizing lots of technologies like your artificial intelligence, mobile banking, banking from anywhere, banking at any time. I can say, especially for last couple of years. So, as a CIO or leader of the IT organization, what is your objective? How are you meeting the objective of your management?
Right. So, Sanjay, like I mentioned, the objectives are very clear. Like I said, the customer first and employee first. Both things are like they. If you translate the objectives, become very clear. The first thing is that we want to empower the rural entrepreneurs, and we want to be the most admired rural fintech brand. So that is pretty clear, and that will only happen if we have the trust of the people we are dealing with, be it internal employees or external like partners like our merchants, adhikaris, or the technology providers who are providing maybe data center services or other services which are there. So here we have chalked down a plan, like I said earlier, that automation is one thing where we are trying to reduce the complaints and reduce the TAT or and improve the CSAT. by serving the needs, and also the reducing the chances of error which is there. And during pandemic time, our app usage, because it becomes more convenient, that is there. And then we are also working on multilingual aspects, because we believe that if somebody operates in their own language, they are able, they feel more comfortable. And in terms of platform stability, we have worked really hard. We have, like, whatever issues were there, or what were, I would say, the expectations from people, like our merchants were there, that have been taken care. We have also introduced a new practice which is called design thinking practice, where we actually go and meet our merchants. Like, as of now it is virtually, however our sales team, our CEO, he has also started Shahar Se Gaon Tak campaign, where he goes and meet people. And in here, when we are doing that, we get to know, like, what is the feedback upfront, rather than sitting into a AC room or a boardroom. We are deciding, okay, this is what the merchant wants, right? So that is more from a softer aspect, where we are getting our merchants or adhikaris also involved in the process. And in terms of technology landscape, like I mentioned, that word tech may be at the fag end of the word fintech, but whatever is the organization vision that I stated, it cannot happen unless and until technology takes a leapfrog. And that is the reason we have, like, our whole management, they are pretty tech, I would say, pro. And they have supported us with a lot of investments, where we have like asked for certain investments into low code, no code technologies, or maybe RPA solutions, or like upliftment and introduction of new technologies. We have recently adopted a platform based approach, like Flutter we have introduced. And there are a lot of other initiatives we are working on microservices. So there are a lot of stuff which we are trying to bring in to reduce the overall time of delivery, because we are cutting across 12 different verticals. So we cannot just be telling that we are having lack of bandwidth, or we are lack of people, because business has to grow, and technology is one function that has to empower it. And we don't have to find reasons or excuses for not achieving that thing. We have to find reasons for achieving and overachieving it. So that means, like, we have overlooked and overhauled processes. We have overhauled the gap areas. We have figured out, like, what are the points of failure, or what are the points of latency which are there. And in terms of IT landscape, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of new tools and technologies, whatever is making us do faster resolution and reducing the number of complaints, and we are keeping all the channels open. We are also in process of digitizing our care, and a lot of digitization is happening, so that people, definitely we are not saying that we want to reduce people. We are saying we want to liberate people to do more meaningful tasks, where they are not investing time in preparing, say, information. They spend more time in analyzing the information and acting upon it. So that is a kind of empowerment. And in terms of data also, real-time data analytics is available. We have our data warehouse, which is providing real-time information, and our data science team is acting on the real-time information to provide real-time insights, which further translates into real-time actionable information. So if you see, it is a 360-degree overhaul of people, processes, and technology. And we believe that communication is the key. So in pandemic, when we all of us are sitting virtually, we are far apart, and we are not interacting with each other. It is that communication should not break the chain. So whatever ways are there, how do we communicate and how do we interact? So that is what we are also working on and keeping our focus on.
right. I think you answered all of the expected questions that I was supposed to ask you.
Mhm.
But I have one more question around the cyber security.
Sure.
And fraud activities, fraudulent
Right.
activities, incidents happen.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
fintechs and BFSI, they are utilizing uh, artificial intelligence to deter those activities. So
Mhm.
are you utilizing artificial intelligence? Yes, analytics you said,
Mhm.
data analytics that you are doing, but artificial intelligence are you using?
So, Sanjay, as of now, if you truly ask me, if we in BFSI, I believe there is like a lot of machine learning which can come to rescue. For specifically for AI, I don't find a real use case where we have to actually use AI. Machine learning definitely is there, and
Okay.
like you said, in terms of cyber security, I believe also from these AI or ML operations or tools which we have, I believe employees are also the first line of defense that should be there. Because if you put systems which are intelligent, that is required, because cyber security or security is always about layered security. It is never a single layer that protects you all. We believe that employees, if they are aware, because if you go through the statistics, there has been a huge jump into phishing and wishing attacks all across, apart from the data breaches which is there. So apart from the tools, the cyber security tools, like we have invested a lot into DLP solutions, where people by mistake are not sending any information which is sensitive. We have also invested in a lot of such solutions where we are able to protect our information. Like we are expanding very fast, new people are joining in. They may be new to like what information is sensitive to the organization, they may not be aware. So regular awareness sessions are also happening in terms of what and how to protect. If they are receiving any malicious mails, what they should do rather than opening or taking action. So that are the activities, and we are also conducting regular interviews and surveys for people, where we tend to understand where are the gaps. So here it is a mix of both the human line of defense and the tools that we have placed. We have a certain fraud detection, like alerts, real-time alerts are there, where we detect that fraud is happening. I think for the specifically to AI, I believe no special use case, but for ML and for other aspects, definitely we are in process, and we have implemented certain aspects as well.
All right. These days, the other thing is rising also the zero trust access.
Yeah.
Access of the employees into the system, or the customers,
Mm-hmm.
giving access through the zero trust cloud access.
Mm-hmm.
So are you also experiencing this, or do you have use case also
Yeah,
for
yeah.
these
I
accesses?
believe zero trust comes with the like I said, it is about like the protection of information, the sensitive information which can inadvertently can get leaked or can be misused. It is not always necessary that people intentfully do a misuse of that particular information. So the zero trust revolves around the fact that whatever information, whosoever should have access to that particular information should only get it, but that person doesn't become the owner of that information. He is like he is a custodian for the time he is utilizing that information. And we zero trust architecture, because like if you see the frauds or the breaches, if they happen through our own employees also, right? So the trust is there, like we all of us have to trust each other when we are working. However, there cannot be a blind faith in that case. So zero trust architecture definitely takes care of that. One is a human error if somebody is committing, and second is if some abuse of that information may happen and it is happening. So trust architecture actually helps us uh, pinpoint and reduce the instances of that.
Okay, that is one. The other one is the uses of, since you are working from home, many of your organization people are working from home, or any remote place.
Yes, yes, yes.
So VPN is the medium to access the database.
Right.
Instead of VPN these days, zero trust access is being used.
Right.
So that's what the other question.
Yeah. So Sanjay, in that case, that work is in progress. We are evaluating certain tools and technologies, and as of now, like we are able to protect in terms of VPN and secure web access. We are evaluating that. We are in process.
All right, from your conversation so far, I can well guess that your management, including your CEO or MD or the CFO and the CFO, are pretty progressive in their nature.
Yeah, definitely. I would say like CIO's success or technology stack success depends a lot on the business proactiveness and business alliance. If they are allies to technology, I believe there is nothing technology cannot achieve for the business, and together make it a win-win situation for the organization as well as technology.
Any new project that you are planning to execute?
Yeah. So Sanjay, there are a few projects that we have carved out. Apart from extension of automation that we are doing, we tend to complete that automation. Apart from that, microservices and like creating more scalable infrastructure, because here we are talking about number of adhikaris, and we believe trust is going to be the key ingredient for anything that we provide to our customers as well as to our employees. So for that, we are trying to create more resilient system which is more adaptable and which allows us to provide like lesser delivery times, where we can deliver more faster, experiment more, and know like what our merchant or customer needs, and we can work on along with different products that we have at that point in time. Apart from that, we are like in process of implementation of low code no code application, so that here I would like to highlight, because the business users, they are pretty strong with the processes. They know like in and out where processes work, where processes fail, and technology is very good in the implementation, like the API implementation or the testing part of it or the performance tuning of it. As of now, whatever tools and technologies we use, the all the stuff lies with IT. That means it is a kind of a suboptimal, because IT technology may not be that proficient in terms of understanding the in-depth knowledge of the process. But here, when with the low code no code tools, we are also involving business to be part of technology, where they become a citizen developer or citizen analyst, where they are defining the workflows which they can do best. And IT and technology are doing the stuff like the API implementation, the testing, the system performance tuning, which they do the best. So here, implementation of this will bring best of the world, and also it creates a additional bandwidth for the technology team also. So developers are not engrossed in finding out and getting a requirement recheck whether I have created it right, and when it is offered and business will say this is not what I wanted, this is I want to be there. So this way both teams work as a cohesive unit rather than creating a departmental silos that, okay, I have given you a requirement, now it is up to you, you have not delivered, and that is the reason I have not achieved my objective. Both teams work together. So with this intent, we are doing it, and we are also bringing in a lot of other frameworks and platform-based approaches in 2022, so that where we bring in more consistency and universal experience to our merchants as well as to our customers. So these are certain projects which we are looking forward to in 2022.
All right, thank you, Varundeep, for sparing so much of time and speaking to CIOTV.live. Thank you very much, and stay safe.
Right. Thank you, Sanjay. I once again thank you for having me here, and it was a pleasure having a conversation with you.
Same here. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you so much. Take care.